Hello. Welcome to week 6 of the M&T podcast. I am M.
I'm T, and this is the M&T podcast.
These introductions are getting worse.
They're so bad, but it also tells you how good the podcast is going to be. This week, we are coming to you live and direct from the island of Ibiza, because this is where we live now.
We do. I mean, I think that's pretty much the name of the podcast, isn't it? This is where we live now.
That's a great idea. Plus wine. This week, we talk about a bunch of stuff, including our new home, opening bank accounts.
Lots of life admin talk. But basically, we're in Ibiza now, and we've been here for a week, and life is kicking off.
It's very, very exciting. We're very, very happy to be here. Also, our wine was $1.29.
Oh, well, you've spoilt it now. But, well, you're about to hear the podcast. Podcast?
Oh.
Gives you an idea about how much wine we drank.
Well.
Anyway, we'll see you in the episode.
Here it is.
Bye. I don't know why we're saying bye. Oh, God.
Well, then let's begin.
All right. Welcome to
Episode
6 of the M&T podcast.
I'm going to open the wine.
Go on, then.
While I'm opening it, you can explain to people what we have for the YouTube.
I don't know what it's called. Can you tell us?
Yes, absolutely. It's called, Mezquiriz. Mezquiriz Rosado, which is rosé in Spanish.
Wonderful.
And it looks lovely, but you bought it yesterday.
I did. So that, ladies and gentlemen, cost a whopping €1.29. For those who are in England, that's about £1.30. And for those in Dubai, UAE, it's about 6 dirham.
Yeah, and
oh God, it's a corkscrew, and you're doing it. Anything could happen.
I'm okay with these types of corkscrews, though.
Okay.
You know, I used to work in a bar often.
Good.
Unfortunately, we don't have wine glasses.
No, we don't.
But we have these things, so...
Going for the small tumbler. Lovely
Still
stuff.
got a glug. Let's switch.
Okay, thank you so much.
And so the wine was super cheap. It's gone in a very different direction to last week. From Whispering Angel to Mezquiriz, 2019.
About one of the most high-profile wines of the time to the cheapest I could find in Lidl.
Welcome to Ibiza.
Ibiza, episode 1. Do you know what? It will do.
It will do. And we don't have a spritz to even change it.
We haven't done spritzes since about episode 2 or 3. We've grown up. We've stopped doing that.
We're adults now. We live in Ibiza.
And we also do want to be sponsored by a wine manufacturer.
That would be lovely. There's a great vineyard here, the Canrich Vineyards, and if we could be sponsored by them,
I think at some point we've got to do a pod from a vineyard, haven't we?
Yes. So obviously the big thing this week is this is our first Ibiza podcast.
It is.
We have been here now for 6 days.
6 days.
How do you feel?
I feel good. I feel tired. We've slept really well since we've been. Well, I have anyway. No, I feel excited. I feel like it's been a busy 6 days, and we'll go through all of that. But yeah, first time that we're doing the pod from Ibiza. We've moved. We've done it.
Obviously, if you're looking if you're watching the video, we don't live here. This is an Airbnb that I got for 12 days, just so that we could get our feet on the ground, get set up, and go about sorting our lives out here.
And it's done the job fine.
Yeah, it's in walkable. So
place.
we're in Figueretas, so we can walk into Ibiza town and get the bus to any part of the island. We're we're about 200 meters from a beach.
Yep.
Which we haven't been to yet, but soon. And we can walk into Playa d'Embossa, and yeah, it's been really, really good. Central location, perfect for our first few days here.
It has. It's been great. It's been great.
So, do you want to update people on what we've done so far?
Well, yeah, I think we need to let's discuss how have the last 6 days been. I mean, we have been doing a YouTube series, but not everybody who listens to this will have seen that, although you should.
Actually, yeah.
On our YouTube channel, there's been a daily video, and we're going to keep those going about sort of moving in. But yeah, let's discuss. from the moment we landed till this very moment, how's it been?
Oh, a bit of a whirlwind, actually. It's quite hard to decide whether, like, try and remember you're not on holiday.
Yes.
Because I very much just walk past a shop and buy a can of San Miguel and keep walking down the street.
Yeah.
Which I guess is fine. You know, it's 50 cents.
Yeah.
You know, it's hydration, and hydration is key.
Well, absolutely. A beer is like 90% water.
Yeah. So, no, it has been difficult but we will get over that. And I think moving to any country, when we first moved to Abu Dhabi, we were probably a bit touristy.
I think you have to allow yourself that, right?
And yeah, you do have to allow yourself it. And I think it's important that, but we do already recognise we're keeping track of everything we're spending. Well, I'm keeping track of everything we're spending, and just making sure that we're not going too mad. You know, we haven't gone out and gone crazy.
We haven't gone out.
And we haven't been out.
No.
Like the latest we've been in bed is, you know, oh, well, we did go to the barbecue and get home late.
But
But
that was at a friend's barbecue,
yeah.
So that's not the same.
The latest we've been back is 11.
Yeah.
So we're fine.
So I think we're doing well. How's the wine?
It's good. It's it could do with a spritz.
It's one of those that could do with the spritz.
It's okay though, but it's for a €1 bottle of wine.
€1.29. I'm not going to complain.
We could get some of that, take it down to the beach,
That'd be lovely.
spend a day.
So in the last 6 days, what have we done? We've now successfully opened bank accounts and moved money across from the UK.
Yep,
So we have like
transfer-wise
financially, we are here. We've seen what
we have
feels
a joint
like,
we have a joint bank
for
account.
the first time ever, a joint bank
For
account.
the first time
It's not that kind of podcast.
Oh, okay.
But yes, we have a joint bank account that's now open. In the next few days, we'll get our debit cards, credit cards, whatever.
Yep.
We've seen what feels like a million different apartments and houses.
And it wasn't a million. In grand total, we saw 10 different places.
It feels like a lot more.
We've done that many in a day before, and we spread that over 3 or 4 days. So, but it did mean there was a lot of walking. There was a lot of, you know, figuring things out, trying to get a bus, trying to figure out, you know, if a bus can get us to where we need to go, get in between all of these places. If you need a taxi, it's not like there's not an Uber. You can't just get a cab wherever you think.
And that's it. Like we've looked at locations dotted all across the island, really, because we've wanted to really know where we're going to end up, what's the right place for us. So yeah, they've been long, hard days. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Lots of walking because, like you say, we're not using Ubers and taxis, but we are doing a lot of walking. 20,000 steps a day. We've averaged.
At least.
We've averaged a lot, and using a lot of buses and things, which is cool. I mean, that's kind of what we came here for, right? It was to
be more active,
be a bit more active, have a bit of an adventure, not sort of always necessarily do things the easy way, but maybe the more fun way. And yeah.
I've dealt with a lot of, we've got obviously our Spanish phone numbers now, FaceTime.
FaceTime is active on our devices.
We have FaceTime, so that's really exciting.
Funny. I got a message from my sister that's like, after, you know, so many years of working for Apple, you are now the one who's excited to have FaceTime, because so many people take FaceTime for granted, but for 5 years we haven't had access to it.
I've never had it because before I met you, I didn't have an iPhone.
I converted you.
Well, you got me a deal.
I did. I
basically
bought you an iPhone.
So yeah, that's been good. So a lot of life admin has happened. I literally spent this morning translating a Spanish bank contract to make sure that we weren't getting charged.
You were just here with your camera. And what does it all mean?
Yeah. So there is a lot of life admin, which as we've always said, I take a lot of it on, but I enjoy doing it and making sure that we're all organised and stuff. So that's been good. And yeah, being in Ibiza is great. We went over to San Antonio, watched the famous...
We've seen 2 sunsets already.
Mambo sunset, on the Sunset Strip.
It's been lovely.
It has been really nice, and it doesn't... here's a question for you.
Okay.
Does it feel like home yet?
No, but that's because, you know, we're living in an Airbnb and things like that.
Next week it could be different.
Not all of our stuff's here yet. We've obviously got a couple of suitcases each. I think once we get settled into our place, and we'll talk about that in just a second because we've got developments on that. And once we're sort of in our own space and sort of making our own routines, and when our stuff starts to arrive, that will truly start to feel like home. It does feel like home in some ways, but yeah, not properly.
Yeah, not properly yet. No, I agree. Yeah, I still feel very much like it's a bit holiday mode. I think when we finally move into our permanent home, and then I'm sitting doing work and have like a daily routine and things like that. Like I haven't got like a gym yet. I haven't, I sit down and do work in the mornings, but it's not, it just doesn't feel quite right yet.
It's not your
environment
yet.
Yeah, it's not my environment. But so far it's been really good. I've loved it.
Yeah, I mean, and we say to each other multiple times each day, we live here now. This is very weird, and it's really cool. And like, it's so easy to just get, as you say, sort of wrapped up in the whirlwind that has been a busy few days, and not just take that moment to stop and go, we've moved across the world to a country that neither of us have lived permanently in before. You've obviously worked here before. And,
yes.
And, there's a lot going on, but to take that moment, like I'm looking right now over your shoulder out the window, and I can see the Ibiza hills. I can see the terracotta tops to little white houses. And it's like, we're not on holiday. That's just where we are now. And that's really cool. And I love that. And I'm very proud and excited for us.
Yes. I love the fact that your friend John McGovern, the vegan,
I get the feeling he's more excited than we are about
but
this.
you've basically FaceTimed him every day, which is cute.
He sent me a message kind of like overnight, so he knew he wasn't going to get a reply, that just was three separate messages, and it says, you live in Ibiza.
He did that to me on Instagram as well.
I think he's just so excited.
He loves it.
Lots of people have been messaging us, or when we're on a call with them, because it's easier to call people from here and stuff.
Yeah.
People are just like, oh, it's so exciting and it's so cool. And it is. And it really, really is. And I don't want to downplay it, but I also I'm keen to just get into our house, and then I feel as if then I can get properly excited that like I'm settling here.
Yes.
This is the life now.
Yes.
And yeah, we're getting there. Well, 6 days, and we've already achieved a lot.
Yeah. So let's talk about our house viewings.
Okay.
And apartment viewings. How did you feel?
I'm really glad that we saw as many as we did, and such a big variety. We saw
Even though you complain about it.
Well, just because it was hard work, and actually gets a bit overwhelming. When you see that many, they all kind of just blur into one.
Yes.
Of like, okay, that's a kitchen, that's a bedroom, that's what the view looks like. And they all just kind of blur into one eventually for me, other than the ones that stand out, obviously.
Clearly.
So I'm really glad, and we did talk about this, or you talked about it on one of the YouTube videos, of if you're doing what we're doing now and you're going to set up viewings, try and see a big variety.
Yes, 100%, because we've seen country houses, apartments right in the middle of the city, terrace houses in like the suburbs, modern apartments on the seafront.
Yeah.
We have seen possibly, apart from an actual villa, we've seen, because we can't afford that.
Yep. One day maybe.
Apart from an actual villa, I think we have seen an example of every type of place you can get here.
I think so, yeah.
Very much so. There were some really amazing ones. We saw a one bed apartment, but it had a roof terrace overlooking where sunset would be, round in the bay, Port des Torrents, so round that side of the island, if you know Ibiza. And like, it was too small, but it was beautiful. And then we saw a modern apartment right in the middle of the city, and it was a surprise, because you walk through this tiny little door, and then you're in this massive cosmopolitan 3-bed
really modern
apartment, but with like old touches, like the old Spanish tiles still in the kitchen and bathroom, and a terrace in the middle of the building. And it's just, you see all these different things, and it's really difficult. If you do watch the YouTube, you see how we're like, oh, this is the front runner, this is the front runner, this is the front runner. And we've done that with 3 or 4.
It's because no matter what, because we've seen really, really nice places. We've seen a couple that were absolute no's the moment we walked in, but we've seen generally really nice places. And it's really easy when you walk into these places to sort of fit yourself into that apartment and go, I could live here. I can see my lifestyle working here. I can see myself living in the town. I can see myself using a roof terrace. I can see myself being out in the countryside. It's so easy to go, yeah, I can make this work for me. And actually, by seeing the variety, we've been, I think, really good in going, we need to see which one works for us. So what do we want?
Yes.
What are we here to
do? And that's what I was thinking. Like, what is our day to day? Obviously, now we both work for ourselves from home.
Yep.
We've got to be comfortable sitting in our place somewhere for many hours a day, possibly in front of a laptop. And yes, you can go and find different places to go and work and stuff, but some days you will just be at home working and as a majority. And you have to think, where will I sit and work?
Yeah.
Like, what will I do? Like, is there enough natural light coming in?
Yeah.
Like, because that's a big thing for me, like being in the dark. And for example, the one in Ibiza town, right near everything, the modern apartment, it just didn't have enough natural light for me to sit and work. And so, yeah, it's been really hard to juggle, and we've actually had a different favourite each.
Yeah.
And we've had to make a decision, which is really, I've loved both. We know we love both, but like at some point, something has to give. And
basically, two days ago, we got to the end of our viewings, and our two front runners, the two we were going to pick from couldn't be more opposite. There's the old school kind of quiet little country finca that's up in the hills, that's got outdoor space and sort of the fresh air and things like that, and in a sleepy little town. And then there was the ultra modern, ultra cool, clinical, modernized, sort of air conditioned monster that was on the coast looking out to where sunset would be, and sort of had
steps away from the ocean.
Yeah. And they couldn't have been more opposite. And we were toing and froing. And
at the end of the day, it actually came down to, because we basically, and this is something actually quite interesting, because George mentioned it to me. He was like, are you buying or are you renting? Because you're bartering on the price.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, you can get away with bartering on rent in Ibiza.
I think we learned that from Dubai, right?
100%.
Definitely learned that in Dubai.
It's never the final price.
Just because it's on a X amount per month, doesn't mean I have to say, okay, well, that's what it is.
Yeah,
so
100%.
We've said, look, we'll be really honest, this is our budget.
Yeah.
We think that we can pay this and this and this. So we've, every single one of them, we've been able to get something. Yeah, absolutely. Just because you're renting doesn't mean that you have to accept what the rentals are.
Yeah, 100%.
You might not get anywhere. You might hit a brick wall. But yeah, we've learned that from Dubai, I think, where just because that's the price doesn't mean it's the final price.
100%. So I guess I feel like we should tell people where we're going to live, because people are going to... I would like to direct you over to our YouTube page, because they're between 5 and 10 minutes long, and the daily vlogs are actually really interesting in how we've landed and what we've actually done day by day to get us to where we are already.
Yeah, it's worth seeing.
And so pop over to M&T on YouTube. Links will be in the show notes, blah blah blah. But we have decided on where we're going to live.
We have.
And how do you feel about it?
I am really happy about it.
Me too.
Really excited. I can already sort of envisage us being there. Actually, this afternoon, we go and sort of sign the contract.
Yes, and that's why it's really exciting.
So there is still that sort of like 1 to 5% of me that's like, it's not yet completely confirmed.
Really?
Well, yeah, because this is me. You know what I'm like.
Jesus. So yes,
I've still got to go and sign for things, but yeah, we've picked. We know where we're going to end up.
And because we've called it this since the beginning, so I feel like this is going to stick. It's called the House on the Hill.
Well, that's what we've called it. It's not called the House on the Hill.
No, it's not. But we've called it in like every vlog you'll watch. It's called the House on the Hill.
The little stone house.
So if we need to change the name, we need to change it pronto.
I think once we're in, and maybe next week's podcast, once we've been in there, potentially we'll be in there for next week's podcast.
We'll be filming from the new gaff.
Is that maybe we put it out there that people help us name it.
We could do a little tour and help. Oh, that could be the YouTube house tour. Help us name it.
Help us name the house.
So keep up to date on the old YouTube. Subscribe to that, and then you'll see us on the daily.
For the foreseeable.
For the
daily
foreseeable.
podcast.
Just to...
Not daily podcast, God no.
Oh God.
I can't talk to you for that long.
Can
Daily videos, absolutely. It's right in front of you. Pour it yourself.
Okay.
So yeah.
We never found out what the indent was for.
I was waiting for you.
And this one doesn't have it.
Well, that's because only like really good wines
This
have
is
that bottle.
€1.26.
29, but okay. Top me out.
Top you up.
It's not bad, is it?
We have also been drinking all week.
Every day, all week. I'm looking forward to my first day of not drinking, I think.
But then, like, the thing is here, and you might have seen it before if you've been here or been to Spain in general, if you stop at a little bar and you get a little caña. A little caña is a third of a pint in a little glass, and it's fresh and cold and sometimes comes with a little snacky poo. Snacky poo?
Do you mean tapas?
Yeah.
Fucking
hell.
hell.
This leads me on to, we've got an idea. So...
Do we?
Yeah, the app. So...
Oh, okay, yeah.
In Ibiza, the thing to find is the cheapest caña. So the cheapest little beer on the...
It's part of the culture here, isn't it?
See.
Is to, like you said, whenever you've got that bit of... It's a much slower pace of life here. And we've found that when we've been walking around, we've been telling each other, there's no rush here. You don't have to deliberately get from A to B without, maybe popping to C just for a little caña on the way. And yes, part of the culture, part of the lifestyle is just to stop, sit in a little bar outside on a street or out on the promenade and have a third of a pint, a little bit of tapas and move on. And you might only be there for 15, 20 minutes. But
so our idea is... We're going to have to do a lot of market research, which I'm okay with.
By market research, you mean go and have some beers?
Yes. So we're going to create like a website or an app, and we're going to call it Caña Finder Ibiza.
I prefer just Cañas of Ibiza.
Okay, Cañas of Ibiza. Have you got the Instagram link? Have you got the handle?
I've checked both are available.
And basically, what it is going to be is... Wherever you are, you'll be able to locate your closest caña. It will tell you how much it is because they do vary in price. So far, we haven't found the elusive Euro caña, but we have found the 150 caña.
The 150 caña we found.
But they also go all the way up to €2.53 for a third of a pint, which is mad. But it will all be on the app.
Be on the app. It'll also tell you whether it came with a piece of tapas. Because some do, some don't.
So, like, tapas, if you don't know what tapas is, like...
a little snack. People know
basically
what tapas
a little
is.
No,
if you don't know what tapas is, unsubscribe. If you don't know what tapas is, just Google it.
Oh, is it taking us 20 minutes for a laugh? Jesus, it's just a boring episode.
Of course it's not. This is the best episode ever.
So yes, I think that's a great idea. And so with that, I think the emoji this week should be a beer.
Okay.
It's a good one.
Yeah, just a beer. Lovely. Okay, I like that.
Send us a beer.
All right, that
or
is...
Or literally send us beers.
Oh, well, send us beer, wine,
Talking about beers.
Here she goes.
We, on the way back from the bus stop last night, we passed a McDonald's. And Matt fancied a McFlurry. But also, McDonald's in this country serves beer.
Yes, they do.
So we ordered a couple of beers to take away, and we didn't want them last night, but they're in the fridge and they're gluten-free. So I know Crookers listens, and she's a gluten-free beer gal.
McDonald's does gluten-free beer.
Gluten-free beers. I might have it if we run out of wine.
Okay, wonderful. It's going to turn into that kind of episode.
Whoa.
All right. I feel as if that's your Ibiza update. I think that's what a lot of people are going to have checked in.
Fun.
That's where we're at right now. There is obviously a lot more still to come. Next week, as we say, there is a chance the podcast will come from our own home, which will be very exciting. And there's plenty of updates still to come. But can we just take a moment and congratulate ourselves that less than a week in, we've got bank accounts, phone numbers, a house... And yeah, we've done well.
We have done very well. And I'm actually part of like this WhatsApp Ibiza group. And there's a lot of workers and people that are coming across. And I'm able to offer a bunch of advice to them, which is really good because we're the ones making the progress. But I think it is because...
It's kind of strange that like we've been here 6 days and you're giving advice to people that have potentially been here longer.
Yes, but also I'm smarter.
Hopefully none of them in the WhatsApp group are now subscribers of the podcast.
Oh, well, no. It's just some people are a little bit naive
They are.
about things.
We're naive about things as well.
But also we know that we're going to live here forever, whereas the worker kind of group are just trying to be here for summer.
Yeah.
And because they're very confused about the whole Brexit, having a NIE, whatever you want to call it, and like living here, it is difficult now that we're leaving.
Do you know what I think? I think the experience we had of moving to another country before and moving out of that country as well
really helps.
It just puts you in good stead. A lot of people said, now that you've done, back in the UAE, a lot of people said, now that you've done this, the idea of moving to another country, and you find people say they sort of get the bug, don't they? And they go, I'm ready for the next one. I'm ready for the next adventure. As daunting as some of the process obviously is, it's nowhere near as scary now that I know that once you get sort of X, Y, and Z done and those sort of key bits are finished,
yes,
you can then just sort of focus on settling and enjoying life. And
and that's what I want to do. I'm really keen to get into the house.
Yes.
Because I feel like we'll spend time making it our own. I love moving into a new place. Go to IKEA.
Yeah.
Pick up some bits because we don't even have because in Spain you don't have a duvet.
No, you have a
but
sheet.
I think we need a duvet and a good fan. But you've slept pretty well without a duvet this week.
It's not the same though, is it?
No, it's not the same. But anyway, going to IKEA, going to a couple of shops, getting our bits and pieces, and then when we finally get our delivery of our items that are in storage,
stuff,
like the famous wall.
Yeah.
All of that will be amazing, and little milestones. Because obviously,
like I say, there's still plenty to come, but it's been a hell of a first week, and I think we've got a lot to be proud of.
I love it. Shall we do some questions?
Yeah, before we do, I'm just going to do what I have to do at this point of every podcast.
Yeah, that's a good timing for that. Oh, can't. That's going to be a lovely noise. I've actually only got one question this week, and I feel like you've got a lot more.
I've got a few. Before we do these, we talked about this, I think, yesterday.
Sí, vale.
We've always said from the very first episode, we absolutely love that people send us a question.
Thank you so
or
much.
A thought,
keep sending them in.
Yeah, please do. But we've got an idea and a thought going forward, and we want to put this out there to our wonderful listeners. Going forward, what we would like is that if you send me something, basically what I want is you send me a question to ask Tiff, or you send Tiff a question to ask me, and therefore we have no preparation for it.
Yeah,
so
that's wonderful.
If you
Let's
want
do that
me
for next
to
week.
ask Tiff a question about what's
Anything.
going on in her life, or something that you know that will confuse the hell out of her, then you send that to me.
God.
So we usually get most of our questions through the socials, so keep an eye out for those sort of towards the end of this week. But that's what we want to do going forward, is sort of like a little challenge Tiff.
Oh no, I didn't realise it was going to be a challenge.
I can't help it if the listeners send you challenging questions. Please send challenging questions.
Be kind.
I'm
going to do my one, and then you can host.
I was the popular one this week.
You can host the rest of the day. So this is from Lou on Instagram, and the question is, how does expat Ibiza compare so far to expat UAE?
Good question. Well, like life as an expat?
It just says expat. Sorry if you heard that there's people living next door that apparently are having a drumming party.
And if you can't hear that, I'm sorry that we even mentioned it. Good microphones. I don't think anyone would have heard it.
Whispering angel.
Who is Lou? Is this somebody you know?
Lou is someone who follows me on. No, it's one of the girls from Dubai. I know her as another expat, and she knows me as another expat. So,
expat Dubai versus expat
UAE,
Spain.
España.
Do you know what so far the difference? I don't feel like an expat here for a start. I feel like a tourist.
Yes,
but in a weird way, I feel less like sort of a stranger. Does that make sense? Like, there's a big emphasis.
Your face! A stranger.
I think maybe because we're in Europe and there is obviously quite a lot of British people here anyway. I don't know. There's a big emphasis on the word expat when you're in UAE. You are an outsider. you're an outsider, you're more than welcome, but you're an outsider. Here, I don't think it will take long before I just feel like I'm a local.
Also, with my practicing Spanish coming along.
Oh, sí, vale, vale, vale.
That's the first time you've spoken Spanish
It's basically
since we got here.
all you need to know.
I've actually been doing quite well at practicing my Spanish.
You have, actually. You've made me very proud at little moments when you've sort of ordered something or asked for the bill.
Really?
Yeah, and every time we get on the bus and you're like, dos, por favor. I'm like, oh, who is this?
I need to know my Spanish name. Who is this? I think actually there are some similarities as well. For example, opening a bank account
Is a fucking nightmare.
Failing 3 times. And things like that. So here it's, so if you're listening in the UAE, think of Inshallah. And if you're listening in, and you know Spain, it's mañana.
It's the same thing.
Basically, we'll deal with it tomorrow.
Yeah, it's just, we'll see. And add on to that, the whole COVID thing, they don't want to help anyone. They don't want people going into their banks. They don't, it's still a bit strange around here.
Yeah, day one. Yeah. So there's little elements of it will happen eventually. It might not be on your terms, but you will get there.
And I think how we learned that, and we learned that kind of way of life in UAE, means that we're really not that stressed here.
No.
Of course, it's stressful when you get up early and you go to the bank and you've got it in your head, today's the day. You queue up, you go in, and they go, nah, you're not going to be opening an account
Scanning
today.
machine's not working.
And that could easily, if you were sort of uptight or not used to that kind of thing, you could go, but this is what I came for. I only came here to do this. We're like, do you know what? All right, fair enough. We'll try a different way or try on a different day. And you just have to relax and realize not everything's going to happen on day one.
Exactly. I think in a few weeks, I read this question. I was like, I don't feel like an expat yet. So I think in a couple of months, maybe you'll be like,
yeah,
okay, yeah, this is how I feel.
Well, it's little things like we've got our own bank account that's fully open as of today and stuff. We can, we're not just taking cash out of our pocket and paying what we can. We're going to soon have debit cards and things, and those are the little things that make you go, I just live here now.
I live here now. Yeah, that was my question.
Good question.
Thanks.
So I got 4.
Are they all
questions.
for yourself?
Some of them were probably aimed at me, but I'm going to aim them sort of towards you. First question then I've got, what is the best piece of advice that you've received during your first week of living here?
Ooh, because I feel like we have received some advice.
Okay. I know my answer.
Going back to the €1 Kenya places, the best bit of advice is to go to places that are quite unassuming, and in the back alleys or the side streets, you're going to find these little places that have cheap canyas and good food, and they won't have a view of the ocean, but they'll feel really Spanish.
Basically, go one street back.
100%. Go one street back. The other...
You could put that on a T-shirt.
That's
part of the M&T merch that's up and coming.
Oh
go one street back. You want advice on where to find cheap beer in Spain? Go one street back.
That's actually, standard. Any other advice? No.
I think that's good advice, though. That has been
I don't think I have
prime example, because we when we were on holiday last year here, we went to a really lovely bar that we like a lot. Is it the Social? Project Social
in Santralari.
Lovely place. They had brew dogs. They had really good food.
€8 brew dog,
amazing, but a really, really nice place. Literally opposite is a Spanish place
El Puntal,
called El Puntal. So you wouldn't sort of necessarily, as a Brit, sort of associate yourself with that. Same kind of beer. You get a little tostada, get a little bit of tapas, and you're spending
half the price.
At least half the price.
And though sometimes I will go to Project Social because I want a brew dog or a fancy cocktail,
and because it's a really nice place
and it's lovely. But El Puntal, if you're going to go in, tostada.
Prime example. That is a very good piece of advice that you got. I'm going to share with mine. Mine was, and we got this from Sarah and Ed. Shout out to them.
You're shouting out mainly to Ed.
I'm shouting out to Ed. He's such a handsome chap.
I'm so glad he doesn't listen.
No, he will eventually. And then he'll delete and block my number. The advice that they gave about house searching was try and find something with outdoor space, because they say like that is how you can settle into a bit of normality in the Spanish environment and stuff without feeling like you have to go out all the time and stuff. But to be able to have a barbecue or rest and relax outside and have people round and stuff like that is important. And it was always important to us anyway, but when they sort of said that's something that's so important to them and their lifestyle living here, that to me was good advice. And
yes,
and,
and I feel like obviously we've decided on our house, and you'll be listening to this on Monday, and so if you go back a couple of days in our little YouTube videos, we'll show you the outside space properly, because we've not even done that yet. We'll film that today.
Tour, yeah.
And we'll film the outdoor space, because there is a beautiful outdoor table. I know exactly where the barbecue is going to go, and potentially a hot tub in the future.
Oh, Tiff's winging for a hot tub, by the way.
I'm just winging for some water. Like, you need some water. You need a little pool or a little hot tub.
All right, so we do desperately need to get this podcast sponsored so that we can afford to get a hot tub.
Basically.
Or if there is a hot tub company listening, just give us one and we'll do the podcast from the hot tub.
Sold to the woman in front. I will
Look
do
at all this
that.
equipment plus a hot tub.
We
can
could
possibly
then
go
just get
wrong?
headsets, and it will be better.
Okay, fine.
Oh, I've got this all planned out.
Right, that question was from your little sister, whose birthday it is today.
Oh, happy birthday, Jade. I know it's 2 days late, but I know you listen. Oh, actually, you watch.
Jade watches.
Oh, yeah.
So does Carl. Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
But good question. Thank you, Jade.
That's
and
a really
happy
good
birthday.
one. Happy birthday.
Next question. What's your favourite brew dog?
I've only ever had Punk, I think. No, yeah, Punk. Just stick with the classic Punk IPA.
There's a reason why that's their headline
Go-to.
beer, isn't it?
I now feel like I need a brew dog.
Oh,
Can we have a celebratory blue dog? Blue dog?
I'll tell you what, we'll have one if you can say it. A celebratory blue dog. I didn't know you were Spanish. Celebratory blue dog. I'm so sorry to our Spanish listeners.
We don't have any Spanish listeners.
We will one day.
My favorite.
Oh, God.
Oh.
Come on, get a grip, woman. What's your favourite brew dog?
Punk. But I want to try. I want to try the vodka and the gin. I can't talk.
Oh, dear. Tiff's lost the plot entirely. Favourite brew dog? I got this question, and unfortunately, mine's probably going to be the same, which is Punk IPA. But do you know what I feel?
Can I guess who this is from?
Wait. What I feel is, and what this tells me is, I don't feel as if we've had access to enough brew dog.
Brewdog delivers here.
Well, there you go.
Ooh, I'm going to order right now.
Please don't.
I'll order to the new house.
Yes, and
When
we'll
I
have
have
the
as soon as I-
celebratory blue dog at our outdoor table.
Is that from Tim?
No, it's not from Tim.
Is it from your mum?
It's from someone who is equally as practical and dull as Tim.
John Ashmore! Yay! Thanks,
Yeah.
John Ashmore.
John Ashmore, I think.
Oh, my head hurts from laughing.
It was his birthday this week, so happy birthday, John
Does anyone
Ashmore.
else if they laugh too much, their head hurts?
No,
I think
it's
it's a
you.
condition.
Well, hopefully you don't die from it.
I might one day if you make me laugh too much.
Do you know what? It'd be great for the viewers, though.
No.
Tiff died from a headache because she laughed.
It's not. Whatever.
It was John Ashmore's birthday this week, so happy birthday to him as well.
God, are we a
And
birthday shout-out company now?
Turns out.
Talk about that.
Shut up.
Who saw the Carol Baskin saying
We're not going to talk
hello
about
to Rolf Harris?
the shout out to
From
Rolf
your
Harris and
friends.
Jimmy Savile.
Jimmy Seville.
God bless
dear.
her. We could get in trouble if we start getting people sending us, can we have a shout out for this person? We will definitely always have to research who that person is.
Yeah, but as long as they pay.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, John Ashmore, for that.
Thanks,
I hope you enjoyed
Jay.
your brew dogs and I hope you enjoyed your birthday.
Where is he now? Dubai?
No, they're still in the UK.
UK?
Yeah,
Okay,
I
good.
think they go back in a few days. Well,
Awesome.
he goes back. All right. This question definitely came to me. Now that you're in retirement,
Oh, you old man.
which I'm not, by the way.
No, you kind of are.
I'm in a mini retirement. Now that you're in retirement, will you be buying a smoking jacket like Hugh Hefner?
And I feel like your answer will be yes.
I feel yes.
You want a pipe?
I need can you imagine me up in the little house on the hill, wearing a smoking jacket and a pipe, just, letting life pass by? And
Smoking jacket. I don't even know what one of those really looks like, but you do have a decent robe.
I do have a good
Waldorf.
sort of, bathrobe. Yeah, it's
dressing
lovely.
gown.
I might wear that more often, particularly in the winter. I feel as if that will get
I'm going
well
to get
used.
cold in the winter, aren't I?
We've already promised you we will buy you a pair of slippers.
Good slippers. So are you going to... talk about retirement.
Okay,
in
so
inverted
I mean,
commas.
in answer to the question directly, yes, hell yes, I'm going to buy a smoking jacket.
Hell yes.
But yeah, let's talk about retirement very simply. I'm not obviously retired. I'm way too young to be retired, and we can't forever be supported only by you, unless you get really fucking good at what you do.
I am really good at what
I think you are. But yeah, in short, I am kind of taking a mini retirement. And a shout out to a little book that we both read, 4 Hour Work Week.
Oh, smashing.
Great book. Absolutely, you should read it. And if you're in that sort of position right now in life, which we were at, of thinking, is it time for something new? Is it time to do something different? It is a great book to sort of inspire you into thinking how those sorts of things are possible.
And also, it's not even something particularly different. It's actually making your life, whatever you might do now, like making that run a lot smoother as well. Because obviously we know a lot of people now that are on furlough or are working from home. And how much better would your life be if you could work from home in Ibiza for a month? And like things like that will drastically improve like your happiness and your work-life balance. But actually it makes no difference. You're still getting paid for the job in a better location. I know a few people that have come out here to Ibiza and just come out for a few weeks, and they're doing the same thing, but they're working from a laptop and looking out to the mountains of Ibiza and are happier because it's sunny every day.
And hopefully we'll be proof that that's possible. And that's what we're working on.
We will be proof that that's possible.
Yes, we will.
Hello.
Very sorry if people can hear that. There is a car outside just holding its horn
Your
down.
whole plan was and is, and we've discussed this many times, and I have to remind you of this a lot, is your plan is to rest this year.
Yeah.
Break.
Yeah.
And I know you're helping me with some things like editing some videos and like editing the daily vlogs when I've got other work to do, and that's amazing. But your main goal this year is to chill the F out. It's not YouTube. Chill the fuck out. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's true. And you know what? I was thinking about this the other day because it is on my mind that like I've been so used to being a provider and sort of that's something that I can bring to the relationship and stuff, is that, we've got some security because of the work that I do. And then the other day I was trying to sort of make myself feel better. And it's that basically, if you think about what a retirement is, it's you've worked really hard so that you can enjoy this. And I think that's how I need to think of it.
But this even
I
happened
am
today.
still providing because the money that's in our bank right now and the money that's basically going to fund this year and stuff is stuff that I've worked for really hard for a long time. And so I can know that I've done my bit and I can rest and I can relax a bit, and then I'm going to go on to the next thing invigorated and with energy and
and that's the whole point. And as I said, like this even happened today. I made today's YouTube video before you woke up. Yes. And then you felt like guilty that you couldn't provide something today. And but that's not the point. I had time. I was awake. I always wake up hours earlier than you do. And I didn't have any other work to do really. So I just did it. And so I just think you have to remember like where you are now and what this
is all
plan
part
is.
Of the plan.
Yeah, 100%. And we just have to remind each other of that.
Yeah.
Who sent you that question? Can I have a clue? Because I feel like that's quite far off of anything I could think of.
It's an ex-colleague of mine.
Roz.
No.
I don't know any others.
Shout out to Roz. She'll love that.
Roz will love that.
Actually, Roz, as a keen listener, you've never sent a question.
Actually not?
No. That was from Shawnee.
Ah, Shawnee.
Shawnee, the South African.
Oh, well, thanks for that.
I always like to leave... I don't like...
That was a dribble.
You've mentioned this before. I don't ever like pouring the last of a bottle only into one person's glass.
But you could have split it a bit better than that, couldn't you? YouTube people. I've got about 0.5 centimetre of wine in my glass, and Matt has a full glass of wine.
YouTube viewers will see that's not a full glass of wine.
More people...
Here, have a mouthful from my
I
glass.
don't want it. I'll just get one of the beers out. I'll just get one of the beers out the fridge.
Last question from me this week. This one came through and can be for both of us. How are you finding your first few days in Ibiza, which we've probably covered? How's the house hunting going? But most importantly, when can I use my first place prize?
Chloe Rake! So, for anyone else listening, over the lockdown period, our group hosted various Zoom quizzes, which I'm sure everyone is very, very familiar with. For mine and Matthew's Zoom quiz, it was very early on, wasn't it?
We were like
lockdown.
week 3 of lockdown. Week
3 of lockdown, and our particular theme was Tiger King.
Yeah,
and
feels so long ago.
We had a lot of fun, but as our first place prize was a trip to all expenses paid trip to Ibiza, apart from the flight. Terms and conditions. And Chloe Rake won it.
Do you remember also, I mean, this obviously was towards the end of the evening, and by the end of our quizzes, everyone was smashed. Just blottoed. Is we threw it out there that Chloe won, and as you say, she won an all-expensive paid without flights trip to the Bennett residence in Ibiza. But she had the opportunity to gamble it.
She did.
And lose it. So she could lose it, or she could win it for everybody else that was on the call.
Do you remember what happened?
Yeah, they all cheated.
No, well, it was great. It's a community effort, because
Is that what we call cheating now? Yeah. A community effort?
Because what happened was, we gave Chloe the last question, which was the all or nothing gamble, and you could see people WhatsApping Chloe the answer.
Chloe, don't get this wrong, we all want to go.
No, but they were just WhatsApping her the answer.
Oh, it was so
It was the literal, and she won, so it's fine. So yeah, Chloe, in answer to your question, we're probably moving in this week.
Yeah, so anytime after Friday.
Anytime after Friday, come on down.
It will be cool. I don't know who our first visitor will be, but I'm already looking forward to people coming and enjoying.
I was just about to say, can I go pick them up on the moped? But if they had a case.
Not if they've got a suitcase. No. Although some people on mopeds, you see it, they just put it between their legs.
What, a big suitcase?
Not a big suitcase, one of the little ones.
Oh, like travel?
Yeah. So,
because we're going to have mopeds.
Who do you reckon our first visitor will be?
Oh, probably either my mother, because she likes to visit on day one of us moving into an apartment. My sister, Jade, because we just gave her Ryanair vouchers for her birthday.
We did. So we're kind of encouraging that.
Encouraged it. But I can't wait for anyone to come out.
Yeah.
As soon as we're in and settled and it's not stressful,
do you know what? That will
I'll be really
happy.
Happy.
That will play a part in making us feel like it's home, because they'll be on holiday and we'll be hosting.
Yes.
And I think that's
a normal feeling for us.
That's a very normal feeling, having lived in Dubai for 5 years, is, people turn up and go, oh, I want to see this and I want to do that. And you suddenly realise...
You're the one hosting.
No, I'm hosting, and I've done that before, and that's kind of normal to me, but it's not to others. And that's going to be a really exciting... We love hosting anyway.
Yes.
We like it when people come and visit, and we've picked a place that allows that to happen. So
yeah, allows plenty of people. Like, there's lots of space.
Yeah.
And allows for big old barbecues.
I can't wait for a barbecue. That's going to be my next big purchase. That was a question last week, wasn't it? What's one of your first purchases going to be?
Yes, it'll be the barbecue.
I want to rewind now and take that back. One of the first things that I will treat myself to is a good barbecue, because it's going to get used pretty much every day.
I'm excited for that. So excited for that. I have one question for you.
Okay.
To possibly close off. What has been your highlight of the week?
Sunsets. Absolutely sunsets.
So why don't we live there?
Because, you say this closes off, but you may have opened a further discussion. Obviously, sunsets. Ibiza are famous for the sunsets. There's something sort of magical about particularly being down on the rocks at Mambo. We obviously went 2 days ago when nothing was open, and it was a beautiful sunset. And do you know what I liked about that? Both of our phones had died by the time we got there.
That is true.
So we didn't take a single photo. We weren't Instagram storying or anything like that. We just watched it, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
And those are the sorts of things that sort of you go, this is awesome. And then you have the extra layer of, I live here as well, so I can see this whenever I want. And then last night, we went to the Mambo opening. And
You need to share this with me because I have a closing gift.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. There you go.
Gracias.
Just sharing my wine.
Gracias. That's thank you in Spanish.
And so, yeah, going last night was great. And we were there with a couple of friends who we haven't seen for a long time as well. And we took pizza down onto the rocks
Which
and
we've
had
never
some
done
beers
before,
and
which
just,
is amazing.
you know, it's something that for that reason costs nothing more than a few euros. And we just sat and watched one of the best sunsets in the world. And
It was a beautiful sunset as well.
Yeah.
Nice. I know you took the piss out of me last week for being excited about life admin, and I got a couple of comments about that. That people were laughing at the fact that you were taking the piss out of me. But I actually am really like, my highlight is the fact that we've come so far in 6 days.
Oh, yeah.
And how, like, basically within 2 hours of this, we will have a house signed for.
Yep.
We have a bank account. We are starting our residency process.
Yep.
And for me, that's the most important thing. As soon as we have everything underway, that's when we're residents. Like, that's when we're safe and can stay here.
Yeah.
So for me, the highlight of my week is our progress.
And you have done most of that.
Well, no, you help me. You assist me in, even if it's like the tiniest things.
Could you just let me thank you without whinging? No. I just want to say thank you because you do most of it and you organise most of it. And I wouldn't be anywhere near close to having achieved what we've achieved this week if I was here on my own. But I probably would have seen 6 sunsets.
And we've only seen 2.
I've had 6 hangovers.
Yes.
But no, it's been amazing. You've worked really, really hard and we are well on the way.
Well on the way. Well, being well on the way, I have a parting gift for us.
She does. So Tiff's going to just go and get something just to end this week's podcast. Another tradition here in Ibiza, and it's one that I think we need to keep up, is that at the end of every meal, anywhere that you go, you tend to ask for the bill and the waiter will come not only with the bill, but with just a couple of little shots of Urbas. Now, people who've been to Ibiza will know what this is. It is the locally sort of made and sort of spirit. It's kind of similar to, I would say, like Zambuca.
It's aniseedy.
It's very aniseedy.
And best served chilled as you can get.
It's yellowy in colour. Sometimes you can get bottles that still have the herb or the plant. I don't even know what it is still within it. But it's very traditionally Ibiza. And so we thought,
for today, that we should finish off with shot of the wonderful thing that is Urbas.
So here's to week 1 in Ibiza. Congratulations, well done.
Thank you for supporting
And here's to another podcast. And we'll see you all next week.
I'm just going to watch Matt do his first because there's quite a big shot I gave him. Lovely.
It's so much better when it's cold.
Oof,
top tip.
Tiffy top tip.
If you've got Urbas, put it into a shot glass and put it in the freezer.
For an hour.
And drink it, and that goes down a dream.
It's better, much better chilled. Thank you for listening again. I know this has been another long one, but we love doing this every week and we want to carry on. So send us all your messages and send us your questions for next week, and we'll see you possibly in the new house.
Please remember to rate, review, subscribe, and share with your friends. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.